everyone, and welcome back to Crazy Bees. It is getting nice outside. It's rather windy right now, so I have some uppotting that I have to do with those plants or those seeds that we started. The beans, the melons, the sunflowers, the basil, the other flowers. So I have to get those uppotted today, and especially the beans. As you can see, they're ready. But I don't want to put them outside just yet. I want them to harden off a little bit. When I did this last time and I didn't harden them off long enough, I lost 90% of them. So I'm going to uppot them and with our Fox Farm blend, and I also put some blood meal in there for some extra fertilizer. And I'm going to get these uppotted. Started with these are all the dragon's tongue right here in this row. So we're going to get started with that. And I'm using my solo cups that I had drilled holes in the bottom of. This is like their third season that I've used them. They last for quite a while if you take care of them, which I have done, is leave them in the sun before, and the sun just bakes them, and then they're no good. They just crack and they get brittle. You can even see where the sun just, even when I was hardening them off before, it just melts away even the color on the plastic. So we're going to start getting these uppotted, and we have a lot of other things we have to get done this weekend. Oh, they're being noisy today. Let me show you what they love. Look at these beautiful weeds. Those are all dandelions. And look at the stems on those things. They're huge. And the girls absolutely love them. I thought at first they were dahlias, but I was wrong. So I pull a couple of these every couple of days, and I take them over to the girls. And they just love them. Look at all these beautiful strawberries. Yummy. We have an issue out in the garden. We have been finding grubs, and I believe that they are eating some of the roots of some of my plants. When we cleaned out that bed of all of the dead plants from the frost and everything, when we were doing the blackberry trellising, which we haven't finished yet. We're still trying to figure out how to do that fan trellis. Some of our roots of some of our peppers were like eaten off. And then when we were dumping some soil from the containers from some of the plants that had died into the raised bed, we were finding some grubs in there. So we know that we have an issue with grubs. And Tom did some researching, and he found the best thing to do if you don't want to hand pick these things is to get nematodes. Some call nematodes, some take nematodes. I'm going with nematodes. We got ours from a place called Nature's Good Guys, and they carry all kinds of different beneficial insects. I'm really impressed with everything that they carry. They've got mantis, they've got lacewings, fly exterminators, which I think I'll be looking into that. They carry worms, predatory mites, all kinds of stuff. Ladybugs. So we might look into other things like that to play with also. I am going to go over the different things that the nematodes will do, and there are 3 different types of nematodes. We got the ones that are for grubs. There's other ones that are for peach borers and other types of fruit boring insects. We're specifically looking for the ones that will eat the grubs. So in this packet, Tom got 50 million. Now these guys are microscopic and just about transparent, so you can't really see them. But what we're going to do is we're going to mix these into 32 ounces of water, and then we are going to put them into a sprayer. And I'll show you that in a second. But this is how ours come. Some come on a sponge. Ours came in what kind of looks like a powder. And we're going to take this whole thing and we're going to dump it into this water, and this is going to be concentrated. So then we'll be able to use so much of it for the garden in that sprayer. These are not harmful to pets. They're not harmful to dogs, cats, people. These are beneficial nematodes. So no, they are not harmful, so I'm not worried about, of course I'll be throwing this in the dishwasher when I'm done, but they're not harmful. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to let these soak for about 20 minutes. And the best time that you want to apply these is when you have wet soil. They do not like dry soil. If you go to put these into, just spray onto dry soil, they're going to die. They like moisture. They're more prevalent in marshy areas and things like that. Not sopping wet, but like a spongy kind of soil that they can move around in. And then I will explain to you later what they actually do. But for right now, for about the next 20 minutes, I am going to let these guys soak, and then I will show you how we're going to put them into the sprayer. Okay, before we get started, I gotta show you guys something. Hold on. This couch is specifically for Scarlet. And she pushed out the cushions. So say hi, Scarlet. Look at how she's sunken down into that couch. She can't even get up. Goofy girl. Well, as long as she's comfortable, I guess. She has just torn up we have a cover over it because of all of her hair. And I had it attached with Velcro on those seats, but I need to put new Velcro on there so that doesn't keep happening. Okay, not that I had to show you my puppy adventures. Come here, Betsy. Oh, that's funny. You can just see the little... We still have about 10 minutes for this to get well mixed in. One of my main things when I've been trying to look this up, I'm like, okay, how much of this do I put per how many ounces or whatever of water in order to be able to spread them? I should have just opened the package, because this is exactly what it says. What it says is nematodes are not a chemical, so their effectiveness will not be reduced by the amount of water used to create the solution. Adjust the concentration of the solution based on the extent of the pest infestation and the size of area to be treated. So we had got the 5 million, And introduction rate for that is 1,250 square feet. And it says for us, this is the sprayer that I have. I have a dial and spray. If you have a sprayer that has a filter, you will want to take out that filter because the nematodes passing through that filter could hurt them. So you don't want anything like if you have a fertilizer sprayer, anything that is going to have a filter in it where they have to pass through that filter, because that can actually hurt them or kill them. So we have the sprayer and we are going to set it at 1.5 teaspoons. Then we are going to put a certain amount, I think we're going to do half in our sprayer and fill the rest with water, and then use the other half for the other half of the garden, because we have to do our containers and our raised beds. So we have quite a bit of area to be able to take care of out there. It also says that if you have chicken runs, you can do it in your chicken runs for when you have flies, because it will, you know, the chickens poop and then you get the larvae from the flies on the poop, and this actually kills fly larvae. So you can even do it for that, because it's not going to hurt the chickens at all. The beneficial nematodes only hurt the certain insects that it's going for, which is the beetles and the borers and the grubs and the and it doesn't go after the beneficial insects either. They go after the bad bugs. So these are a great thing to have in the garden. And I'll go over more of that. And I had said that Tom had gotten a certain specific type, but the type that he got actually has all 3 of the different types of nematodes in here that cover all the different types of
bugs.
Yes, thank you, bugs. So when you first look at your grubs, you know, if we can, we're going to find some and put some in a container, because when you first find them, they're gray. Now, after you do these nematodes, after 24 to 48 hours, they should be like a rusty brown. And that means that the nematodes have done their job and killed off the grubs. So that's what we're going to be looking for. So, let's get on to the second part of this. Okay, so what we're going to do now, our timer just went off for the 20 minutes, is we're going to take this, and this is an Ortho Dial and spray, and there's literally a picture of it on here, so we're confident that we're using an okay sprayer. So we're going to mix this up again. And it says to take this 32 ounces and to mix it, or to dump it into your sprayer reservoir. And make sure we get them all. And then we're going to be connecting this to the hose. And we have the dial set at 1.5 teaspoons, and that should cover our backyard. This is supposed to cover 1,250 square feet. So when Tom gets this hooked up to the hose and he's spraying, he will keep continually shaking this to keep mixing the water with the nematodes so that there's no settlement on the bottom. There is a weight on the, what is that? That line?
Pickup line.
The pickup line? There's a weight on that pickup line that's inside of this reservoir. So that should also help with things not being able to settle to the bottom. So we're going to get this all hooked up, and then while he's spraying, I'm going to let you guys know some of the benefits of doing the nematodes in your gardens. Okay, so Tom has got the sprayer hooked up to the hose at the 1.5 teaspoons, and we have it on shower. So he's just going to cover the area. And it's even okay if it gets on the leaves of the plants, because that'll kill off any larvae that's on the leaves. I want to look up and see if this takes care of squash bug larvae. That would be wonderful.
See how much I'm supposed to put in here?
Yeah, just a stream of it. Then that should be good to go to the next one. Just one coverage area. And then what you can do is, if you need to, you can do a second application. So this is the introduction, and then the next step would be a second application if you felt you needed it, if you had a large infestation. So we're trying to concentrate on the grubs, and what the nematodes are going to do is when they attack those grubs, the grubs should be actively feeding and in their second or third instar. Now an instar is a larvae stage. So when they have a larger spiracle openings, which the spiracle is a part of the grub's respiratory system, that's when the nematodes will likely go after the grubs. They will enter the grubs through the spiracles, so they'll enter them through their respiratory system, their mouth, or their anus. And then they release a fungus, which then consumes the grub. And this will happen within 24 to 48 hours. They should survive for up to 18 months. So the first several weeks, though, you want to make sure that your soil stays moist, because they like to live within like the top 10 centimeters of your soil. So their main jobs are regulating the populations of other soil organisms. They mineralize nutrients into plants' available forms. They provide a food source for other soil organisms. And they consume disease-causing organisms. As they are beneficial nematodes, there are also bacterial nematodes.
Go. Go.
Right now, Tom is about halfway done. And the other thing I wanted to tell you guys about the nematodes was, as they are beneficial, there are also bacterial nematodes, which can be very harmful. But we purchase these, so we know that they are beneficial. And they don't affect humans, animals, or plants, as I had said, and they are compatible with the beneficial insects. They even don't hurt earthworms. Now, when it comes to ants, they don't necessarily go after ants, but the ants, they deter them. The ants will go and find another home if there are beneficial nematodes around. And they also are good with ladybugs, praying mantis, and lacewings. They do control grubs, slugs, fungus gnats, fruit flies, beetles, and cockroaches. So, I am very excited to have these in our garden. The best time for you guys to put these in the garden is as the sun is going down at dusk or at dawn. So that is the best time that they can be acclimated. You also want to make sure that, as I said at the beginning, that you're putting them with moist conditions. Don't put them into dry dirt. And then Tom will do this, and then we'll probably do a light watering during the week, and then he is going to actually come out and do some fertilizing of the peppers this weekend. So That should be good. But we got a good rain shower these last 2 days, so our soil is nice and moist. That asparagus, those ferns need to be tied up. So we're going to get this done. And I tried to find some grubs, but I couldn't find any. So I guess we're just going to have to see what happens. Okay, we are back. It's the next day. It got a little late last night. It wasn't pretty late, but by the time we got done doing that and I came in and made dinner, I couldn't hop back on. So Tom actually, with that amount of nematodes, was able to do everything out in the backyard twice with that setting at 1.5 teaspoons with 32 ounces on the hose. Now that's the way that we did it. That's not the only way that you can do it. You can also do it with the pump sprayers, and you can also do it with a backpack, you know, the 2-gallon or the 4-gallon backpacks with the hose. But you have to make sure that it sprays out a certain percentage so that the nematodes can actually go through that hole for the sprayer. So we got that done last night, and I just wanted to pop in real quick and let you know that. And then there was a couple other things that I felt were important on this paper that I wanted to tell you guys. When you first get your nematodes, if you're not going to use them right away, put them in your refrigerator. Don't let them out to keep warm because they are perishable. They are a living organism, so you want to keep them cool, but do not freeze them. They have to be in a dark place between 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can't wait no more than 30 days on taking care of them. And the other thing was the soil levels that I thought was important. Your soil should be watered, like I had said, before you apply. And then the soil surface should be kept moist for 2 weeks after application. And the soil temperature should be between 44 and 83 degrees is optimal for the nematodes for their survival. You don't want it too hot. And then when you put them in there, you want to either do it at dawn or at dusk. You don't want to put it when the sun is beating down on them. And you definitely don't want to do it when the season is too hot. When we're coming into spring is a good time to be able to take care of that. So, got that done. And then I wanted to pop in here and show you a couple of the plants from the seed swap that we did, how they're doing. Remember I had showed you the Indian laurel, our Indian laurel. I tried to propagate that. It didn't work. I don't think I had the right branch for that. But these are the bay laurels. As you can see, they're kind of a little bit brown around the edges, but they still have some green on them, which is great. And I have them upstairs on the humidifier, and they are doing spectacular. So I don't see any kind of root structure coming through the bottom yet, but that they're not totally brown is great. This one's got a little bit more browning, but it's still got green on it, and as does this one here. So I think we're doing good so far on this propagation of the bay laurels. Let's pray on that. And then this is the artichoke that I had gotten, that bulb, that artichoke bulb. Is it a bulb? I need to look that up. If I'm wrong, let me know. Because I know you can start artichokes from seed, but this was a literal, it looked like a bulb, and it had a little root on it. And I stuck that in the soil, and it has just taken off. It just looks amazing. I don't know the exact type of artichoke because it just said J.artichoke. That's what it said at the seed swap. So I had put it in one of these used pots that I have. I don't know what was in here before. I don't always take my tags off of my pots. From when I get them from the nursery or whatever, I'll rinse them out or whatever, but I don't always take the labels off. Hence why I get confused on things. So let's do that. But there's my tag. So, and these other plants we up potted, and that's the beans, the melons, the sunflowers, and the cucumbers, some zinnias. They're all doing pretty good. I've got like one of my bean plants here. Which one's this? This is one of the dragon tongues. I don't know what happened to that leaf. It must have gotten pinched or something. But for now, I'm just going to leave it while it's getting acclimated to the soil and going in and out. And then there was another one that just looked really strange to me. This guy here. This was one of my older seed packets, and it's called a bush snap. And there's nothing all the way down here, just up here. So I don't know if that one's going to do anything, but we'll just let it go for now and see. But everything else looks like it's acclimating pretty good. And then I took the basil, those clumps of basil that I had, and there was the lemon, the Thai, sweet, Greek, and opal. Those were the 5 different types of basil I had, and I separated those into 6 packs. So I've actually got, I had 30, 6 times 5 is 30, and then 2 of them aren't going to make it. So we have 28 basil plants. So I'm sure I'm going to be giving away some basil plants because I don't need 28 plants. I don't need that many. But you never know, I might buy some pots and keep them out there because I really like that tea. So, you guys, thank you so much for coming along with us, and I hope I was able to give you some good information on these nematodes. I highly recommend them after doing the research I have on them in the garden. They're just so beneficial for the soil and for your plants in the soil. So, I think they're great, and I think we're probably going to try some other stuff in here too. One of the things we're going to try for sure is their fly exterminators and see what happens there, because with the chickens and them being so close to the house, we get those pesky flies next to the house, and they drive me crazy. And I've tried the fly traps, and they, I think they attract more because it stinks. It's like a yeast smell, and I think it just draws in more flies. So I think we want to try something else and see if that works better, so I'm not actually attracting more flies. So again, I hope we gave you some beneficial information, and I hope you guys take care, and we will see you on the next video.